All right, welcome everybody to another deep dive. Today, we're diving into something pretty fascinating, I think at least.
Yeah, should be good.
It's all about, kindness.
Hmm.
We're taking a look at this book called The Habit of Kindness, How Small Acts Create Big Change.
Okay, yeah.
And, the big question we're going to try to answer is, what if kindness isn't just this nice idea, but what if it's actually a force for real change in the world?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? I mean, like, is that something that we can really get behind?
Well, this book really dives deep into that idea. It's saying that even these tiny little, seemingly insignificant acts of kindness
Mhm.
can actually have a ripple effect,
Okay.
impacting, not just one person, but maybe even spreading out to whole communities.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting stuff.
So I gotta say, I'm kind of skeptical.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're not talking about like, these huge heroic gestures, are we?
No, 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 no.
Yeah. It's the small everyday stuff that really matters.
Exactly. It's less about, you doing some one big thing that saves the world
Right.
and more about just being consistent with these small acts of kindness.
Yeah.
So, think about a genuine compliment to someone
Right.
or, truly listening when they're telling you about their problems, or you see somebody on the street and they need help, you help them.
Yeah.
These are the things that even though they seem really small, they can really make a difference.
Okay. Okay. I see where you're going with this, but
Yeah.
how does something as simple as just saying, thank you or holding a door open for someone,
Right.
how does that translate to real actual change?
Well, there's actually been some research on this. There was a study done at Emory University, and they found that doing these acts of kindness
Hmm.
actually boosts your serotonin levels.
Serotonin. Okay.
Yeah,
The happy chemical.
the happiness neurotransmitter, right?
Right.
And the cool thing is it boosts it in both the giver and the receiver of the kindness.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a win-win. And, kindness also makes your body release oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
Sometimes they call it the love hormone.
Yeah, okay.
And that actually lowers your cortisol levels. Cortisol is your body's main stress hormone.
Okay, so I'm less stressed,
Okay.
I'm happier.
Exactly.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, there's a lot more, actually.
Right on.
It goes even further than that. Studies have shown that people who are consistently kind, they have stronger immune systems, believe it or not.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and they even say that they feel less physical pain.
Hmm.
And then, if you zoom out and look at the community level, this book argues that if you have a culture of kindness,
Hmm.
it can actually make neighborhoods safer, lower crime rates
Okay.
because people feel more connected and supported. Imagine, like, you live in a place where everyone's looking out for each other.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Wouldn't you feel safer and happier?
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That reminds me of something. A few years ago, I was having a really, really bad day. Like, just, one of those days where everything seems to be going wrong.
Yeah, yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah. And I was walking down the street, and this complete stranger
Mm-hmm.
just smiled at me and said, "Hey, hang in there."
Hmm.
And honestly, it just like totally changed my mood.
Wow.
Like the world suddenly felt a little bit less heavy.
Yeah, I think that feeling you described, that's really what makes kindness so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And, this book, The Habit of Kindness, it argues that we can actually train ourselves to feel that more often.
Okay.
It emphasizes that if you keep practicing kindness
Right.
consistently, it eventually becomes a habit.
So it's like a muscle. The
Yeah.
more you work it out, the stronger it gets.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so it's not just about doing something nice every once in a while. It's about really making it a part of who you are, a part of your everyday life.
A way of life. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about, I'm sure some people would say, focusing on these small acts,
Hmm.
it's kind of a distraction from tackling the big problems in society.
Yeah, no, I hear that. That's a really valid concern. But the book, it's not saying that these small acts should replace trying to fix, the big systemic issues. It's
Right.
more about cultivating this mindset, this way of being in the world that
Right.
can actually help to contribute to those larger solutions. Think about it. If you have a society that really values kindness,
Right.
isn't it more likely that those people are going to be compassionate and proactive in addressing those bigger issues?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's about changing the whole atmosphere,
Absolutely.
making kindness like the norm rather than, this rare thing that happens every once in a while.
Exactly. And that brings us back to that ripple effect. Right.
We were talking about earlier, scientists and sociologists, they call this pro-social behavior. And the idea is that when you do something kind,
Mm-hmm.
it can actually inspire other people to do the same thing.
Right.
So it creates this chain reaction of positivity.
Wow. So if we're all like capable of these little acts of kindness,
Yeah,
I mean, just imagine what the combined effect of all that could be.
exactly. Yeah.
It's not about like flipping a switch and changing the whole world overnight,
No.
but it's about each of us making that conscious effort, to just be a little bit kinder, a little bit more thoughtful in our everyday lives.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it. Just those
Yeah.
little interactions, they can really add up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that all those little ripples could eventually lead to, the kind of big changes that we're all hoping for?
I think they could.
Yeah.
It might not happen overnight,
Hmm.
but who knows? Maybe if enough of us start making that effort.
We can create a world that's a little bit more kind, a little bit more compassionate.
Yeah. It makes you think.
It does.
What one little act of kindness can you commit to today?
Hmm.
And how might that spread outwards,
Yeah.
impacting not just your life, but the lives of all the people around you?
It's worth thinking about, that's for sure.